Hey everyone, and welcome to Hooked on Needles and Crafts. Today we're going to be doing a Hobby Lobby crochet kit. For my returning subscribers, thank you so much for tuning in. And for my new viewers, please consider subscribing, share, hit that like button, leave a comment below, and click on that notification bell for future videos. So today, you guys, we are doing a crochet kit from Hobby Lobby. This is 44th Street Needle Co. I don't want to put it out there, but I think this might be exclusive to Hobby Lobby. If you've seen it outside of Hobby Lobby, let me know. So I guess this is kind of similar to the crochet kits in Five Below and Dollar Tree. Not saying it's the same, I'm just saying they do kits as well. It's really cool to see these stores have their own exclusive kits. I have not tapped into this yet, and it's already looking kind of cute. Today we're going to be doing the chick. So I did get a request. I didn't, I just passed through it. I don't remember which one was requested, but if you have any requests from Hobby Lobby, I am now open to them. So leave a comment below, let me know what kits you wanted to see. I'll try to find them because, as you know, every store is different. I have such a hard time finding things at the Dollar Tree and Five Below. Hopefully not so here, because there was a ton of kits. I only got a few of them, and I did post a haul video, so if you want to go check that out to see what kits I do have currently and planning on making for you guys. Alright, so let's just open up this kit already, shall we? Alright. There's different ones too. They have pouch ones, there's boxed ones. I have a little bit of everything. You get this yarn. I'm really liking it. You know, as much as I love the acrylic yarns and all that other regular yarn that you see at the hobby stores, I'm really liking the ones that have no frizzies on it. So it's almost like, it's not woobles by any means, but close enough. You know, there's not fraying or anything. You get that. You have your hook. Your accessories. Ooh, it comes with stitch markers. Yay! This is already better than any other kit that I've ever done, FYI, because they give you stitch markers. And they vacuum seal their stuffing, so look out when you open this. I'm going to set that aside. Okay, and then we've got the instructions. Due to copyright, I can't share any of the details in the instructions. If you want to go and make this kit, I highly recommend that you go to your local Hobby Lobby. And I did also go online, and they do have kits online as well, so go check that out. What I do in my videos is I pretty much help you read the instructions and understand them, and then I go through new stitches. I'll show you how to do them step by step 3 times. You can speed up and slow down the video by clicking on the gear button here. There's playback options to go fast or slow. If you don't need to hear me talk, you could lower the volume on your device and click on the CC closed caption button. Okay, looking at the front page of this instructions, it gives you illustrations and text to do, I'm assuming, everything you need to do, and maybe then some. Same thing with like the Dollar Trees, and not comparing it at all, but the Dollar Tree usually has a list of all their stitches and how to do them. It doesn't mean you're going to use them all. They just use the same sheet to print on everything, I guess. But anyway, turning it over, okay, we have, ooh, that's a huge picture. Okay, so I like that. Pictures of what is included, so you can always double check that. If you have any issues with your kits that you buy from the store, I recommend to always contact the company and you know, just briefly mention your issue. Usually they're good enough to kind of help you out if you're missing instructions, if you're missing yarn, hook, what have you. Definitely try them out. You could always comment here and let me know how it went, because I personally have never had a problem missing things from my kits. So I wouldn't know, but I would love to know. All right. Okay, so let's get this started. So we're gonna start with the yellow. And what I like to do is, this end here is the outside end. We don't want that because we're gonna have to remove the band and then it's gonna roll around when we get the yarn. What we do want to do is find the other end that's inside the spool. And it looks like this is a bit messy, so I don't know if we're gonna find it. But sometimes you'll see it just sitting there waiting for you to find it, saying, here I am, here I am. Other times it is buried deep and hiding. So I'm going to see which one is that. But this looks like it's all tangled up over here, so I think I'm just gonna stick with this end, and I'm just gonna randomly pull a piece. Let me see, go in here deeper. I'm gonna grab a piece. A huge chunk might come out, and that's okay, or a small chunk. You just want to find the other end. So I'm going to pull this out. Okay, and we have a chunk here, but because this is one yarn coming out, it means I found the end. It's somewhere in this wad. So you can put this under a little paperweight or something like that. And then we can detangle this wad of yarn. This is very yellow. This is like highlighter yellow. Okay, and then once you detangle, we're gonna use the end. We're gonna go right into this. Now, don't worry about the wad of yarn. You're gonna eventually use it, and then after you're done using it, it's gonna be a, you know, supposedly a smooth sailing pull. It's not gonna roll around. If there is a knot in there, and sometimes we'll find out if this company is just messy, you'll find out right away if their spools are nice, because it'll get stuck as you pull. That means it's messy and tangled in there. But anyway, okay, so I'm going to show you the first steps. So let me show you how to do that. We're going to take our yarn here, and I'm going to wrap it around my finger at least 3 times. Put a little bit of an overage here so I can take my middle finger and put that right on top of it. You can take this opportunity to straighten out your strands, loosen or tighten them up as you need, but we're going to use our crochet hook to slip underneath the 3 strands. Then I'm going to pull it back out, and we're going to pull this strand underneath these 2. So hook it, turn your hook to the side so that you can slip it underneath the other 2 strands without accidentally hooking it. And so you should have something like this. So now I'm going to do a yarn over. It's taking this feeder yarn and putting it over the hook, and we're going to hook this and pull it through this loop over here. So hook it and pull it through the loop like that. So now you can remove your middle finger and slip off the loops off your index. So this is what our magic ring should be looking like so far. So now I'm going to show you how to do the next steps, which is we're going to learn a new stitch. It's abbreviated SC, and it stands for single crochet stitch. Oops. So let me show you how to do that. Now you're going to stick your hook into the loops right here. Alright, and then we're going to yarn over. That's putting the feeder yarn over the hook. We're going to pull this through the loops. So now you have 2 loops on your hook. We're going to yarn over, and you're going to pull this through both loops. And that is your single crochet stitch. We have a front loop here. We have a back loop here. Alright, let's do another one. Stick your hook into the loops. We're going to take our feeder yarn and yarn over, putting the feeder yarn over the hook. We're going to hook it and pull it through so that we have 2 loops on our hook. Then we're going to yarn over again, and you're going to pull that through the loops. So we've made 2 single crochet stitches. Again, we have the front loops and we have the back loops. All right, let's do this one more time with you guys. So stick your hook into the loops here. We're going to yarn over, putting your feeder yarn over the hook. We're going to hook it and pull it through the loops, so you have 2 loops on your hook. Then we're going to yarn over, and you're going to pull that through both loops, completing your 3rd single crochet stitch. So we have the front loops here, the back loops here. Let's look at it top side, and it looks like a nice pretty braid. Alright, so now that I've shown you how to do a single crochet stitch at least 3 times step by step, you can go ahead and rewind this video as many times as you need until you're comfortable doing single crochet stitches on your own. I'm going to go ahead and finish the rest of the single crochet stitches required for round 1. Alright, so once you've completed all your stitches, I would recommend making sure that you do have the right count. So if you look at round 1, at the very end there's a parenthesis with a number in it, and in this case now there's abbreviated SC, which stands for single crochet stitches. So that number inside is the number of stitches that you should have in total on your magic ring here. So once you've confirmed that you have the right amount of stitches, we're going to now close our ring. Alright, to close your ring, you want to take your hand and you want to put it over your hook. And at the same time, you're going to want to take your stitches here. Let's gently hold onto the bottom stitches. So we have stitches that start up here that work our way around. We're going to hold it right here at the bottom, and it's not going to be too tight, just enough to hold it down. And we're going to take our feeder yarn and we're just going to hold it back. So you can use your middle finger here to hold it back. You can tuck it away right up there with the rest of the feeder yarn. We're going to focus on these 2 loops. So the whole concept of a magic ring is that you start with this huge hole and then you magically close it. So how are we going to do that? Well, you're going to take this excess piece and we're going to pull it. You're going to pull it gently and slowly so that we can determine which loop is going to go inside the ring first. So hold these stitches, but don't hold too tight. Pull on the yarn and watch to see which loop goes in. Once you've determined that, you can stop pulling. Alright, so this front one for me is moved in first. It could be different for you, but whichever one is the one that moved in first, you want to pull out this end of that loop. So don't touch anything up here. We're going to go on this end, and because this front loop went in first, I'm going to slowly pull this end out. Now as I'm pulling that out, you're going to find this other loop is going to start going in, and that's what you want. You want the other loop to hide. So keep pulling until that other loop has gone completely inside the magic ring. And then now what's left for us to do is to pull this excess piece. So go ahead and pull this so that you can make this loop disappear. Right. Now to make sure that your hole is completely closed, I'm going to pull in the opposite direction and a little up. and you're going to feel it move just a little bit. You don't have to pull it too hard. You're going to end up closing this hole completely, so that's exactly what we want. Alright, so before we move on, we're going to be using our stitch marker. So they gave us yellow ones. Comment below, let me know if they're yellow. You could use those, not a problem at all, but I like to, I'm a visual person, so I'm going to use one that I have, and it's red, just because the color is different. That way I'm not searching for it. Of course you can feel it, so, you know, but I don't know. It's just me. If you want, you can check my Amazon storefront. I did pin 2 stores that sell these stitch markers. I have not personally purchased from them. I just clicked on them because they do have a high star rating. If you go on my Amazon storefront, you could at least have an idea of what it looks like, what it's called, so you can search off of, navigate out of that in Amazon and, you know, select whatever store you want. Or you can just use it to kind of see what it looks like at a, so when you go to a hobby store, you know what you're looking for. Because they should sell them in packs. I don't know, I've seen them sold in like huge plastic things with separate containers, and there's different colors in each one, or they sell them in the huge packs. I have no idea. But anyway, this is going to indicate the end, the last stitch of the round that you completed. So we know that I've marked this stitch. I'm going to be starting round 2. In case you didn't see because I was too busy talking, let me show you how to put them on. So we're going to take this stitch marker and we're going to slip it underneath the front and back loops. So I showed you the parts of a single crochet stitch. You just want to slip it under the front and back loops, and you want to make sure that you didn't accidentally split your yarn. So if you pull this and you can see like a clear opening, then you're pretty good. Alright, so let's move on to round 2. So for round 2, we're going to be working a new stitch, and it's very interesting that this kit does it because the Five Below ones don't and the Amazon ones don't. But we're gonna learn how to do a chain stitch, CH. So let me show you how that goes. And the reason why we're doing a chain stitch is because we are building the height of a new row. So because this part is pretty universal in the crochet world, I can talk about numbers and stuff. So it looks like we're going to be working with single crochet stitches, and to build the height of a single crochet stitch you have to chain 1. So we're going to chain 1. Let me show you how to do it. So you're going to take your feeder yarn and we're going to do a yarn over, and you're going to pull that through the loop, and that is your chain. It's as simple as that. So as we go do the rounds, I'll show you how to do the chain at least 2 more times, but that was fairly simple. Right, so now let's dive into understanding instructions. The next part of round 2, we have parentheses. So what that usually means is that we're going to be repeating whatever inside the parentheses the number of times that it tells us to. So after the parentheses, you'll see a number and it actually says times. So we're going to be doing that number of times. Alright, so in order to not get overwhelmed with instructions, let's look inside the parentheses. And we're going to break it down. So we're going to learn a new stitch, and this one is an SCINC, which is a single crochet increasing stitch. Alright, so let's learn how to do that. Okay, before we start putting our hook into the next stitch, sometimes it's hard to see because you know, we scrunched up the stitches. So what you can do is from the stitch marker, count back the number of stitches that were required for round 1, and then stick your hook into that last stitch. Okay, so once you've got that, then you know where to put your hook. We're going to do our first single crochet increasing stitch. So basically what we're doing is we're going to do 2 single crochet stitches in this one stitch. So let me show you how to do that. Alright, to do a single crochet increasing stitch, you're going to yarn over, you're going to pull through a loop, so you have 2 loops on your hook, then we're going to yarn over and you're going to pull through 2 loops. You have your first single crochet stitch. Then we're going to stick our hook back into that same stitch we just used, and we're going to do the second single crochet stitch. So yarn over, pull up a loop, so you have 2 loops, yarn over and pull through those 2 loops. So if we look closely, you have this one stitch, and out of it comes 2 single crochet stitches. Alright, so now let me show you how to do that again. So you're going to stick your hook into the next stitch. To do a single crochet increasing stitch, you're going to do 2 single crochet stitches in this one stitch. So yarn over, pull up a loop, so you have 2 loops, yarn over and pull through those 2 loops. Then stick your hook back into that same stitch we just used, and we're going to make our second single crochet stitch. So now we have 1 stitch here, and out comes 2 single crochet stitches. So let's repeat this. Let me show you how to do a single crochet increasing stitch one more time. Stick your hook into the next stitch. We're going to do 2 single crochet stitches in here, yarn over, pull up a loop, so you have 2 loops, yarn over and pull through those 2 loops. Then stick your hook back into that same stitch that we just used. We're going to yarn over, you're going to pull up a loop, so you have 2 loops, yarn over and pull through those 2 loops. So again, we have our single stitch here, and out comes 2 single crochet stitches. If you look on top, it's looking like the braid that we've been seeing. Alright, so now that I've shown you how to do a single crochet increasing stitch at least 3 times step by step, you can go ahead and rewind this video as many times as you need until you're comfortable doing the single crochet increasing stitch on your own. But I'm going to go ahead and repeat the remaining parentheses, and then I'll show you what to do next. Be careful not to split your yarn. If you do, just try to fix it. Oh, I'm starting to split. Alright, after you've finished all the stitches that you need for round 2, go ahead and count the number of stitches you have and make sure it matches the number at the end of the instruction. Again, it's going to be that parenthesis with a number, and it has SC for single crochet stitches. So now what I'm going to do real quick, I am going to remove this stitch marker, and I am just going to replace it under the last stitch we made. Go under the front and back loops, check to see if you've split the yarn. Alright, so now let's finish this round. The last bit of this is called a join, and that's pretty much a single, is a slip stitch, sorry. So what we're gonna do, you're gonna go into the next stitch, and to make sure that you've got the right stitch count, we're gonna count back from the stitch marker, because I don't know why, maybe because it's too bunched up. But anytime you feel unsure as to where to put your hook next, you could always count back from your stitch marker. Alright, and you're going to stick your hook in here, and we're going to yarn over, and we're going to pull through all the loops off the hook. Alright, and that is a slip stitch, and of course as it closes the round. So the thing that's interesting about this kit, it's the way that I love to do it actually, is that it'll close each round so they're all individual rounds. Now if you don't do that, like some of the Five Below kits, it just has you making a spiral. So that way when you try to count your rows, you never can really tell which one is the row. We're not going to even go there because it doesn't spiral, so this is good. But anyway, I am going to take my stitch marker and just move it over now, because we have our new stitch here. This is going to indicate the last stitch of our round. Okay, all right, so now let's do row 3. This one's going to require a chain again to build the height of the row. So we're going to take the feeder yarn and we're going to yarn over and pull it through the loop, and that is our chain stitch. Alright, so next we're going to be working with a set of parentheses, and we do have to repeat that the number of times that it tells us to. So this one is a little longer. Let's break it down into sections. What I like to do is focus on the instructions that are in between commas. So in the first comma, before the first comma, it says that we're going to be doing single crochet stitches. So go ahead and do that. And then in the next section, we are going to be doing single crochet increasing stitches. So go ahead and do that. So you see what I'm saying? When you break it down into sections, you focus on one thing at a time. It makes it sound a lot easier than reading the whole thing at once and being like, wait, what? So now that I've pretty much shown you in the last round how to do and repeat the parentheses, I'm going to leave it up to you to repeat them, and then when we come back in, I'm going to show you how to join again. All right. Once you finish all the stitches for round 3, we're going to replace this stitch marker under the last stitch we made, so that we'll be able to count back and make sure we have the right number of stitches. That's the parentheses at the end of this instruction. So let me just count this now. Okay, so now we're going to do another join. You're going to stick your hook into the next stitch, and we're basically going to do a slip stitch. So yarn over and pull through the loop, all the loops actually off your hook, so you have something like this. So now we're just going to replace our stitch marker under the last stitch we made. And once you get used to this, you can wait to replace the stitch marker until you finish that slip stitch. I like doing this now because I can easily just count the stitches while the marker's there. But anyway, let's go to round 4. So let me show you how to do a chain stitch one more time. Again, we're going to build the height of the round. So yarn over and pull through the loop, and that's a chain stitch. So now that I've shown you how to do a chain stitch at least 3 times step by step, you can go ahead and rewind this part of the video as many times as you need until you're comfortable doing a chain stitch on your own. But I'm going to move on to the next parenthesis. Now this one is seemingly a lot longer than the other one. So again, we're going to break it down in sections. Let's look at everything before the first parenthesis, and it looks like we're just doing single crochet stitches. So go ahead and do that. And then the next section has us doing single crochet increasing stitches. So let's go and do that. And then the next section has us doing single crochet stitches again. So it's single crochet stitches, increasing stitches, and single crochet stitches, and then they're inside a parenthesis. So of course we're going to repeating this the number of times that it tells us to, and then I'm going to come back in and I'm going to show you how to join one more time. And in case you didn't notice, I used up that wad, so now I am just free pulling from that spool. So hopefully you can get to that point so you don't have any spools rolling around, getting all annoying. I'm just going to replace my stitch marker. Then I'm going to count the number of stitches required for this round. Okay, and then we're going to do a join. So once you put your hook into the next stitch, we're going to yarn over and we're going to pull through all the loops off the hook to do a slip stitch. And then I'm just going to go ahead and replace this stitch marker under the last stitch we made, and then we're going to be able to do the next round. Alright, so for round 5 we have a little break here. It's going to be single crochet stitches all the way around. So I'm going to do that, and then round 6 is just repeating you know, the concept of the parentheses. So I'm going to do rounds 5 and 6 in silence. We'll pop back in for round 7 because we need to talk about that regarding the stitch markers. All right, I completed round 6. Now the next section we're going to be doing rounds 7 through 9, and I wanted to pop in because this is the first part in our instructions where we're going to be repeating rounds. So this stitch marker is going to stand for 7, round 7. I'm going to get a few more stitch markers. This one's going to stand for round 8. And this one's going to stand for round 9. So 7, 8, 9. Now I'm getting these because this is one example, and it's going to happen again a bunch of times in these set of instructions where we're repeating rows. And you want to use the stitch markers to keep track of which rounds you're on. So it's great that they gave us 2 stitch markers for this kit, but you know, the more the merrier. So anytime you get any tools for your kits, save it, because you might need it next time. So all the stitch markers that I have been saved from all the kits that I've used. I had yet to purchase a pack of stitch markers because I have so many already. So try to get more of these. But anyway, so for rounds 7 through 9, we're just going to be doing the same stitches over and over again. So if you're the type that needs to stop and take a phone call, stop to eat, you just want to take a break, you know, you can just leave it as is, and then all you know is that it's the same stitch and you're done till you use up your stitch markers. So that's always a good thing, because I just ate dinner, so now I'm back. But anyway, all right, so I'm going to do rounds 7 through 9. Then we're going to repeat back to round 10 with the parentheses, and then rounds 11 through 13 are pretty much the same repeated rows. And then we're going to stop because it says that we're going to be putting in some eyes, so that's going to be fun. So we'll pop back in after round 13. Alright, so I completed up to round 13. Just by working through this, the project naturally curled in, but the way I was stitching, it kind of curled back out. So just in case you're wondering, you want the right side facing out. So the wrong side will be the side where you have that excess piece from the magic ring. So if you have your project still like this, then simply just invert this and flip it inside out like that. Alright, so here is where we do the eyes, and I'm really glad that they are fitting this stuff in before it's closed. So let's grab the eyes here. I normally wouldn't recommend using the eyes because it could be a choking hazard, but I decided not to do that anymore. I mean, still, you know, double think using these because it could come out and it could be a choking hazard for anyone that you end up giving this to that might decide to bite it. Okay, and it also says in the instructions that it's adult use only, so I don't know. Anyway, just so that we don't have to fiddle with this heavy hook attached to the project, I'm going to pull this out and leave a long loop. That way it'll take a good amount of pulling for you to lose this stitch. We're going to focus on putting the eyes. What you want to do is find a nice side that looks the prettiest. It's not going to be where you put your stitch markers because we've been trailing up. With the stitch markers, it's leaving a gap, so maybe let's use the other side to do the eyes. So it does tell you, it actually tells you exactly where to put the eyes and how far apart, so go ahead and do that. And you just have to find your middle, and then we're going to place our eyes in between. Now the thing is, these eyes are so small, and in my experience, if you're a loose stitcher, even with my stitches, it can go through the other side. So what you can do is actually try to pierce the yarn so that that sucker is stuck in there, and we'll put this safety backing on here. You're going to hear it click or feel it click in this case. Okay, and then we'll put the other one. I'm going to see how much time we have right now. I try to keep these videos under 2 hours, and then when we come back we'll see if we can continue on, because round 14 we're going to learn a new stitch. Okay. So let's do round 14. You're going to put your hook back into that big loop that we just made, and then you're going to pull on the feeder yarn to make the loop small again, and then we're going to build our height of the round, right? And then we're going to be doing single crochet stitches. Okay, so the next part we're going to learn a new stitch. Alright, so we're going to learn how to do an SCDEC, and then what that stands for is a single crochet decreasing stitch. So let me show you how to do that. Alright, you're going to stick your hook into the next stitch. Then we're going to yarn over and you're going to pull up a loop. Then you're going to stick your hook into the next stitch. We're going to yarn over and you're going to pull up a loop. So now we have 3 loops. Then we're going to yarn over and you're going to pull through all 3 loops. So if you look closely, we took the next 2 stitches here and we turned it into 1. And there's a little gap, but the way that you can minimize that is to make sure that this loop isn't big, this initial loop. Anyway, so after that we have to do single crochet stitches. Alright, so the next section we're going to be doing a single crochet decreasing stitch again, so let me show you how to do that. So into the next stitch, put in your hook, we're going to yarn over and pull up a loop, and then into the next stitch, put in your hook, we're going to yarn over and pull up a loop, so you have 3 loops. Then yarn over and we're going to pull through all 3 loops. So if you see the next 2 stitches we did here, we made into 1 stitch. Alright, so let's do single crochet stitches. Okay, and then we're going to join. And then we're ready for the next round. All right. Let me see. I'm trying to see where there's a decreasing stitch at least one more time. So 15 is pretty straightforward. It's just single crochet stitches. Round 16 is a doozy. That's a big one, but it's everything that we've already learned. So you should be able to do this. Just break it down in sections. And then round 17 through 20 repeat. I'm going to pop in round 21 because we are doing our last single crochet decreasing stitch together. Alright, so I finished rounds 17 through 20. We're going to remove the stitch markers here. I did join this as you saw, so I am going to slip this under the last stitch we made. And then we're going to work round 21. I'm going to try to finish to round 28, but I think I only have like 20 minutes left of this video, so we'll see. Alright, so for round 21, we're going to build the height of the round. Then this is a lot, but I'm going to teach you a new stitch, and I'll show it to you once we get to it. So we have a parenthesis, and I'm going to read the I'm going to look at the first section. So we're just going to be doing some single crochet stitches. And then in the next section we have there's an SCDEC, which stands for single crochet decreasing stitch. So what that is we're taking 2 stitches and we're making it into 1. So it's the opposite of an increasing stitch, and I'll show you how to do that. So stick your hook into the next stitch. We're going to yarn over, you're going to pull up a loop so you have 2 loops. Then you're going to stick your hook into the next stitch. We're going to yarn over, you're going to pull up a loop so you have 3 loops. Then we're going to yarn over and you're going to pull through all 3 loops. So if you look closely, we have our 2 stitches that we made into 1. Okay, so now I just have to repeat this parenthesis. So go ahead and do that. And then I'm going to show you again how to do a single crochet decreasing stitch. So stick your hook into the next stitch here. We're going to yarn over, you're going to pull up a loop so you have 2 loops. Then you're going to stick your hook into the next stitch. We're going to yarn over, you're going to pull up a loop so that there's 3 loops. Then you're going to yarn over and you're going to pull through all 3 loops. Okay, let's repeat our parenthesis. And then I'm going to show you how to do a single crochet decreasing stitch one more time. Into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop so you have 2 loops. Into the next stitch, put in your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop so you have 3 loops. Then you're going to yarn over and you're going to pull through all 3 loops. Alright, so now that I've shown you how to do a single crochet decreasing stitch at least 3 times step by step, you can go ahead and rewind this part of the video as many times as you need until you're comfortable doing a single crochet decreasing stitch on your own. But I'm going to go ahead and complete the rest of round 21. So let me just look at what we've got going on here. So it looks like everything is fairly the same. It wants you to start filling in with stuffing after round 26. We'll see how long it takes for me to get there, but again, I am running out of video, so we'll see how far I can take this. Alright, so I finished round 26. It does say start filling with the stuffing, but here's the thing. I'm new to these kits, and I'm sure some of the viewers there are new to my channel, but what I like to do is make my life easier when I'm doing these kits. And I'll tell you one thing, if you do all the parts, the hat, the beak, the arms, not really the feet, we can save those for last, maybe not. Depends. I like to do those while the cavity is still open. So what I'm going to do, and I just lost my hook here, so I don't have to worry about my hook, I'm going to pull this loop all the way out, make it really long so that it takes a while before you lose that stitch. We don't want to lose it, of course, but you'll know when that loop starts getting smaller and smaller. So in the part 2 video, we're going to go straight into making the hat, the wings, the beak, I guess all the body parts. And I'm going to try to put them on before filling. Because if this is open, we can easily get in here, tie our knots, do what we need to do. If this is all closed, and you do it on the outside, it just gets a little complicated of how to sew it on to where, you know, you hide all the pieces. So I'm going to end this video right here. Comment below, let me know how it's going. Click that like button if you think that this is turning out good so far, or click that like button if you are looking forward to making this check yourself. Again, this is a crochet kit from Hobby Lobby. This is my first one, and not so bad. I like how the instructions are. It seems if you are intermediate, I guess, you can fly right through this, but I'm going to help you if you are a beginner. Don't forget to timestamp if you have any issues. I have, believe it or not, a ton of comments, you know, with frustrations, and it's very understandable. These kits are very tough. But if you're having an issue, timestamp where you're having a problem, because I can't help if I don't know where your problem is. Alright, so I will see you in the next one. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is Hooked on Needles and Crafts. Please share, like, and subscribe for future videos, and I'll see you again next time. Thanks. Bye.